there, welcome to This Is Mint, the podcast that talks to the creators, the makers and the movers and the shakers from the north of England. And we are on our last episode of this series, which is really sad because it's been so much fun getting back into doing the podcast. I love doing it. And it's been so great getting to chat to lots of people that are performing at Saltburn Folk Festival this year. So for our last episode, we have got the incredible Bella Gaffney performing, who is playing as part of the Magpies. I have never seen the Magpies play before, so I'm, number one, super excited to go and watch them at this year's festival. And number two, it was just so nice to get to chat to Bella and get to talk to her about all of that. Also talk about the Magpies Festival too, and yeah, just what she does and the music that she makes. So yeah, a really, really cool lady, and I hope you enjoy. This is Bella. Bella, welcome to This Is Mint. How are you?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, pretty good. Very good. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. So for those people who don't know, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Bella Gaffney. I'm a sort of singer-songwriter, and I play mostly with a band called the Magpies, who are sort of kind of English, but also a lot of sort of Americana influences as well, folk band.
Yeah, fantastic. And I just wanted to sort of ask a little bit about how you, because you grew up in Bradford, and I wanted to ask about just how you got into folk music and how you started playing, because you play a few different instruments and things, so I just kind of wanted to know a little bit about how you started off in performing folk music.
Yeah. So I think my earliest exposure to it, from what I remember, is my uncle playing like Simon and Garfunkel and that sort of, 70s kind of folk. And then when I was a bit older, I remember hearing John Martin on the radio. I was in my friend's car. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then my parents started taking me to the Topic Folk Club, which is in Bradford. It claims to be, I think, the longest running folk club in the UK, but I think there's a few that contest in that spot.
They all do, don't they? They all say that.
Yeah. But, I back the Topic.
Yeah, no, definitely. So was it sort of like, when you were kind of going to folk clubs and things like that, was it more like the traditional material that you were interested in, or was it more sort of like the songwriting, storytelling style that you were more drawn to?
Yeah, I think originally it was probably more sort of singer-songwritery. Back when I was first getting into that kind of music, I really did like that sort of Joni Mitchell and, that, obviously there's crossover. And then once you're in the folk club, you become sort of more exposed to different, types of music and the more traditional ballads and things like that. I remember my granddad getting out his Dubliners records and stuff at that point and saying,
Nice.
oh, if you like that, you should listen to this. And I think it sort of creeps up on you a bit, and before you know it, you seem to have memorised 100 ballads.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, it does creep up on you, and then you just sort of like in amongst the folk festivals, like how did I get here?
Yeah.
How did that
Why are
happen?
there so many Morris dancers?
yeah, definitely. So I wanted to ask, like, what are, in your own songwriting, what are the sort of things that inspire you and informs your songwriting?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't think I'm sort of particularly focused on one thing or another in particular when I'm writing songs. It's really hard to say, isn't it? What inspires you? But I don't know. I think about all sorts of stuff, really. Like, if there's ever an interesting topic, and I mean, a lot of songwriting is very personal, isn't it? So some of them come from within, and then some of them are definitely more inspired on what's going on around me. I found a lot of inspiration when I've travelled with the band, when we've gone on tour. I think sort of being exposed to different places and new things tends to open your mind to new ideas.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. Because I'm an instrumentalist and not a songwriter, so I find the whole sort of the process of songwriting quite fascinating. just because I don't know how to do it, basically.
It's a dark art.
Yeah. And when I was sort of doing research, it's like a lot of you've had a lot of sort of praise and stuff about that, about how much storytelling comes into your songwriting and your ability to tell stories and things. I wanted to ask, is there a certain, like, how do you sort of tell those stories through songs? Like, how do you, like, what's the knack of putting them together?
I think part of it is very much that tradition of, if you've been raised in folk club, or if you've come into your music via folk clubs, a lot of those tales, they are stories, aren't they? And I think there's a sort of inclination to tell the story in a certain way. And as a performer, maybe when you're delivering them on stage, there tends to be more of a story with it, with your stage patter and all the rest of it, really. And I think because in folk music we tend to be more songs are written about events and people rather than just purely feelings and stuff, I suppose. So in that way there's like a natural narrative to the story, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, totally, yeah. Definitely. Did you have a sort of, like, when you were at folk clubs and things when you were younger, was there a particular style of story you were more focused, like more drawn to? Like, was it more like sort of the more mystical side of it, or the classic sort of girl gets murdered, or like sort of thing?
Yeah, so somewhat troubling girl gets murdered stories. Yeah, it's such a good question. I mean, there's so many different sort of genres of folk, isn't there? I really like some of the more magical ones. I think one of the ones that we covered with the Magpies early on is called the Two Magicians, and I really like that one, which is a really old song about, but again, it's kind of horrible. It's about rape and a woman trying to evade this man who keeps shape-shifting as the story goes on. So I like them, but I love just, the sort of old tales, really. It's just, I think it's nice that we're still telling some sort of stories that are still so meaningful. Like, I find that amazing that we all, that sort of oral tradition, that you can still find new meaning, or, and there's so much emotion in a story that's however many hundreds of years old. But I do love a murder ballad. I can't deny it, and I won't. There's just something about them.
Good. Don't deny it. Embrace it. Have you ever taken any of these old songs and maybe adapted them so that they maybe, because obviously some older folk songs, they maybe quite have meanings that maybe aren't quite placed in modern society and things. Have you ever sort of taken any of those songs and kind of adapted them in different ways?
Yeah, it's something we talked about quite a lot, me and Holly, about what it sort of means when you do that. Because it's an interesting idea, isn't it? Because sometimes the stories are told in a certain way for a certain time, and you have to view them in the context of the time. And but then of course the sort of stories and traditions, they're supposed to change and evolve, aren't they? With society, it can go either way. And we have a song called "I Never Will Marry" that Kate adapted for the Magpies, and she definitely rewrote a lot of those words to make them less sort of miserable from the woman's perspective. But I definitely don't have a problem with it. I think it's quite an interesting thing to do, and it's quite like, it makes you look at all the old songs, doesn't it, and think about, what would you do with them now? Like, how would you rewrite them? But sometimes I want to, and sometimes part of me holds back. So I sort of think maybe they're saying it, or originally it was done that way for a reason. But I love what Kate did with I Never Will Marry. So you can do what you want with traditional songs, can't you? That's the beauty of them.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's that push and pull of it, but also kind of sticking to the main message, but adapting it in a way that fits with you, I guess. Which is what people...
And I think... Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, go on.
I was just saying that obviously that I was thinking of songs that I know and like that you can adapt, but there are some that have messages now that these days are just so outdated, aren't they? That I think we're just not singing them. Or I hope we're not singing them.
Yeah. It's just we'll just leave that one in that pile over
Yeah,
there.
that one's in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask a little bit about because you're a multi-instrumentalist, so you play guitar and banjo mostly, is that right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, does playing those different instruments, do they inform your songwriting differently? Like, is there any sort of changes in the way that you write songs based on the instruments that you're playing?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I tend to when I'm writing a song, I tend to start. I usually have a new like an idea of a certain phrase that's sort of going around in my head, and then I'll pick up the guitar and I'll try it with the guitar, and I'll pick up the banjo and it'll give it such a different feel, and then I'll put them all in different tunings just to see what feels right until it finds where it wants to be. And I think sometimes the song can go through quite a lot of different feelings and sort of vibes before it finds the right place. And because but the banjo it's clawhammer banjo, and it can be either very rhythmic, which can give it a very different feel, but also it's easier to sort of pick out a tune, like a melody, as well as the chord. And I think that I write a lot of songs actually on the banjo now, just because I think it makes you think about the song differently.
Yeah. Have you ever had a song that you couldn't decide? You'd like written the song and you had playing it on guitar and playing it on the banjo, and you just could not like decide in your head which? Because I feel like I'd be like that. I'd be like, I can't decide which one it needs to be on. Like,
Well, fortunately though, if I'm writing for the band, I know that someone's going to play guitar,
right.
so
Okay.
I can keep that in my head. And because that's another challenge when you start writing a song, you've got to think, where is it going? Who do I want? Who will it be better with a band? Will it be better solo? Like if it's if it's something that's all about some fancy guitar work, maybe it's better solo, and then to kind of do it like that, and try and think, oh, do I want Holly to be taking a raging fiddle solo? Then I've got to go some Magpies then.
Yeah, no. So it's more like sort of interpreting which band it's gonna sort of go to, whether it's your solo stuff or to like the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Justin Bieber, you never know. You've got to keep your mind open.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I saw a quote in an interview that you did where you just sort of said Yorkshire's just great in it, which I like. I really liked that. I feel like it's quite a northern way of sort of talking about where you come from, because I would definitely say something like that too. So I wanted to ask a little bit about sort of growing up in Bradford, and then sort of you lived in York for a while. Is that right? Yeah. Does that sort of like being around lots of different parts of Yorkshire, does that inform any of your sort of songwriting or the way that you make music?
I think it sort of has to, doesn't it? Because you grow up steeped in a certain culture or way of thinking, and I know the UK is not a very big place, but it is quite different in different areas, and I think you can't help but be a product of where you're from, and certainly you know what Yorkshire folk are like. We're very proud of our roots. In as much that I find it quite hard not to sing with a Yorkshire accent. Do you know what I mean? Everyone else in the band has to match my vowels because they're too.
Really.
Yeah.
Is that just a very instinctive thing to sort of sing in a Yorkshire accent rather than trying to like flatten it out?
Yeah, it is to me. I'd find it quite. I mean, I think sometimes you do without noticing it. Sometimes you realise that and it must be due to the song or who you're singing it with, maybe. But I definitely think there's something about the landscape as well in Yorkshire, or there is to me, that I find quite inspiring. I've definitely written a few songs that are about the landscape, and I know a lot of people do. There's something about the moors, isn't there, and the dales, that it's hard to ignore.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have a favourite place in Yorkshire that you're just like, this is like, I could go there every day and it would, maybe not every day because then it'd be like Christmas every day, but like you could go there and it's just like a sense of total calm and like all that sort of stuff?
I think where I grew up originally is Thornton in Bradford, and if you go up the moors behind that way, sort of behind Oxenhope, that area, I'd like to take my bike up there, and I think that's just like it's an amazing place because like on a good, the cycling's great, but the view is awesome because you can see Bradford that way, you can see the Dales, you can see Pennygent and stuff on a clear day in the other direction, and you go the other way and you're heading towards Hebden Bridge, and it's just such a beautiful place. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
I could
that's
go there
lovely.
every day.
That's lovely. That's really, really lovely. You are going to be at Saltburn Folk Festival this year, but you are playing with the Magpies, who we've spoken about a little bit already, which features Ellie Gowers and Holly. Is it Brandon? Holly Brandon.
Holly Brandon, yeah. And at Saltburn, I think we're playing with Kathy Ife.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of Ellie. So we've always had a few different people who are sort of in the Magpies.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how that collaboration came round, starting the Magpies, and how did you form the band?
So very originally, it was when I met Polly Bolton, who she's played in like quite a few different bands and the Trials of Kato as well.
She's got an amazing cool haircut. She's always got really cool hair, always.
She does, and cool trousers always.
Yeah.
So I met Polly at a gig in York. I can't remember how. It's a long time ago now. I think it would have been 2016, maybe. Oh, 17. Must be coming on 10 years. Which makes me feel really old. But then she was playing the mandolin, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, you don't often see women playing lead instruments, particularly the way that Polly does. So we got to the jamming, and then we met Holly as well in York. She was doing a degree there at the time, and then yeah, it's just really gone from there. And sort of me and Holly are sort of the core of it, and then we've played with lots of different people through the years, all women, which is amazing. And then they sort of all come and bring their different influence and talents to it, which it's been awesome, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's really cool. So you mentioned that there's sort of a wide range of influences of like people who've obviously come and gone from the band, and I think just in general there's like quite like different types of influences. Is there a particular influence or style that you are more drawn to, or is there like a secret formula of what makes the Magpies what it is?
I think the secret, what is the secret formula? I think it's very much a combination of sort of, I was going to say Celtic, but more British. And that's just, yeah, American influence. Polly was very influenced by like old time music, and she taught me to play the banjo. And then when we play with Kate Griffin, I mean, because Kate is a phenomenal clawhammer banjo player, but what she does is she plays like Celtic music on it. She's more sort of inspired to play sort of, well, all sorts of stuff. She plays world music with a rubber band Mishra. And then, when we play with Ellie, she's very much from so I keep looking over here because there's a picture of them on my other screen. Oh, Ellie.
Hi.
There she is.
Yeah.
She's looking great, and she plays. She's from Warwick. She's very from Warwickshire. She loves that part of the world, and she loves like Morris and things like that. So she's always bringing that sort of thing into it. And then Holly just has always been great at crafting. I think more like Celtic feeling tunes, and I think that's where we like to sit best, just a sort of strange combination of old time and kind of Celtic-ish.
Yeah, definitely. Because what I really like about the Magpies music is I really like how there's lots of different influences in it, I think. I wanted to ask a bit because we've mentioned a little bit already that there's like quite a big Americana influence in it, and I was listening. I was either listening to something or reading something the other day that like Americana and country music are like the fastest growing genres in the UK at the moment. Like it's sort of like having like a boom, a glow up, if you like. I don't know what the word is, but and I kind of wanted to ask like how it is to sort of meld that like Americana style stuff with the more folky, more sort of UK folk stuff, and how it sort of relates together.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because obviously country music is pop, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas an Americana is such a broad term. But I suppose if you look at some of those more sort of traditional American songs, and some of the ones that we play with the Magpies, I mean, a lot of them originate here, and then they've gone over and become Americanified, or whatever the word is, and come out with a sort of totally different song with a different flavour. And I don't know. So they come from the same origins, I think. Country music maybe is a little different, because I would probably say that we don't really play country, but we do sort of play a bit more sort of old time, more traditional American stuff. So like in answer to your question, I think they go together quite well because in some ways they've come from the same place, they have the same influences, so
yeah,
it's just a different accent on it, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah. So you released an EP at the end of, was it the end of last year? You released your EP, or was it the
I
start?
think it was.
Yeah.
Was it the start? I can't remember.
That's what Spotify said anyway, so I'm assuming it's the end of last year.
Yeah, no, I think it was. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so you released your EP, The One Thing I Know. I wanted to ask, because the one thing I love about EPs is that it's very much like a 4-track, 5-track sort of snapshot of what our band is doing at the moment, and what they're sort of feeling and what they're looking at and all that sort of stuff. So I wanted to ask about those songs that are on that EP. Like, what were how do you put those tracks together and then they make an EP? What were the sort of inspirations behind that?
Yeah, it very much is a snapshot in time, really, isn't it? I think what's on that EP is Holly wrote a beautiful song called Ebb and Flow, which is sung by Ellie on it, and she'd been to it's a song about Korean women, like divers. And she's just like been inspired. I know she'd been inspired by this exhibition in a museum. But and Holly is always quite inspired, I think, to write about women. She like if she sees the story of an inspirational woman, then she's going to want to write a song about it. And then we sort of paired that with a tune that she wrote. She's called Marigolds, and that they clearly come from the same moment in time because they're in the same key and they meld together so well. And then other than, I think Painted Pony is on it, and a song which song I wrote, and another one called what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but they're both songs about travel. And so that I think it was a time when as a band we've been travelling a lot actually, and doing quite a lot of tours, and I think maybe that's probably where my head was at. Maybe Holly's was, and probably just spending so much time in each other's company is how you end up on the same page with your songs.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, yeah, tours are sort of dead. It's a dead way to sort of like, you really know someone by the end of a tour, don't you?
Oh, you do, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any like tour like things you have to do whilst you're away? Like you'll get like tour rituals and all that sort of stuff. Like, what do you normally do whilst you're away, apart from the gig, obviously?
I'm drinking a lot of beer. It's usually something that we do.
Nice.
But no, we just try to have fun, because I think it can be really intense. But when we've done tours in Canada that have like sort of 3 weeks, and if you're all we're all doing the driving ourselves because it's sort of grassroots music. You do everything yourself, and by the end of it, it can be quite like exhausting. So you have to try and find the time to see where you're actually going, rather than just going straight from venue to venue, and try and meet some new people, and just generally I think we do our best to have a good time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's the key to happiness.
Yeah. Absolutely, definitely. I just wanted to touch back on you talking about I mean, Ebb and Flow is beautiful. It's such a beautiful song. But I wanted to also just ask a little bit about obviously part of that song sort of links to um sort of the themes around women and things, and like talking about women and all that sort of stuff. And I wanted to ask a little bit about how important that is to sort of, is that sort of quite an important part of when you pick music with the girls, about like making sure those women's voices and stories are heard?
Yeah, yeah, it is. I think it's not the only thing we go for. It's a good song's a good song regardless of the theme, I think. But we are keen to sort of champion women. That's what we've tried to do with the band through the years, and definitely with the festival as well, trying to make sure that there's equal representation. And I think in our songwriting as well, I think it is definitely present. It's hard not to be when you are a woman, isn't it? But and
Yeah,
then I
definitely.
suppose because we're all women, and in the band there's lots of different songwriters, so I think it just naturally goes that way
Yeah,
at times.
definitely. Do you find sometimes if the
Yeah.
three of you have been writing music, writing songs and stuff, that you sometimes have that moment where you're like, oh, actually, I've never quite seen it in that specific way of like, being being a woman and all that sort of stuff, and you sort of go, oh, I'd actually never thought of it like that, or like that sort of thing of actually like it helps you learn more about yourself in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like I say, songwriting can be so personal at times, can't it? That you have to be quite trusting, I think, of the people that you write songs with, and it can, yeah, definitely expose a few feelings,
Yeah.
and you definitely get to know each other a bit better when you do it. Because, I mean, personally, I find it quite hard not to write about what's in my mind, So, yeah, it can be quite illuminating.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it also like it's that thing of it makes you, sometimes you write things and then you go, oh, I hadn't quite figured that out in my brain, and now it's there,
Yeah, and what I found is I look back on a song that I wrote years ago, and I was like, well, I understand that now.
So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Magpies Festival, which we've just mentioned. So you have obviously been doing gigs and festivals, and I just kind of wanted to know like how you also go, I want to start a festival as well on top of doing all of that sort of stuff. So how did the festival come about?
Well, it came about because it was, I think 2020 was when the spring of 2020 was when we released our first album, Tidings, and we were on tour. And then, if you remember, the lockdown started sort of then. And we were halfway through our tour when we all had to go home, which, was a bit dispiriting.
Were you in,
And we were
were
excited.
you on tour in the UK, or were you away away?
Yeah, we were, yeah. And I think we were so excited because it was our first proper tour. And, we've made this album, and we were like, oh, yeah, we're doing it. And then next thing you we're all sent home. But Holly, who plays fiddle in the Magpies, she she grew up going to festivals, going to folk festivals, and in particular, I think Towersey was the one she used to go to with her family. And she just always had this sort of secret ambition to curate her own festival. And then because nothing was happening in the summer, and all the festivals were cancelled, she was bold. Some might say crazy, but some might say ambitious, brave. I don't know. But she was like, right, I'm gonna put on a festival and we'll do it with the Magpies. And yeah, and we did it that first year was like so scary. Um,
I can imagine. I can imagine. So was that in 2020, the first one?
that was 2020, yeah, because it's the sixth year this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
so basically there was all those restrictions, wasn't there? But you could meet outside.
Hmm.
I think that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
It was 2020, yeah. Um, or was it 2021? I can't remember my time. It just feels like so long ago now. It was at the point where you could meet outside. Things were sort of lifting, but there was not many festivals had come back.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
she
yeah.
was like, so it must have been 21. And she was like, I'm gonna do it. And we did it. And yeah, it was just amazing. And then it's sort of every year it's got a little bit bigger, but not, you know, not too big. And yeah, it's awesome. You should come.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So when Holly came to you and went, right, right, gals,
Yeah.
I wanna start a festival here. What was your reaction to that?
I was like, well, she's mad, but I already knew that. Um, but I think we were just so desperate to play and just see people and like connect because music's such a, brings people together, doesn't it? And we must have been inside, I guess, for 2 years at that point, thinking, longing for the days of playing music. And she just was like, right, well, I've got this plan, and we thought about the plan and we were like, she's a maverick, but we might just do it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So when you were sort of putting that first one and like the first few together, was there anything?
Mm.
Because obviously you'd obviously been doing gigs and doing festivals for years, sort of prior to this. Was there anything when you sort of got into the festival organization of things where you went, oh, I actually had no idea that like this was a thing, or like I had to think about this sort of thing, or like any of that sort of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's loads of things to think about, isn't there, when you're putting on a festival? Fortunately, like Holly's very intelligent, sensible woman, so she's up to any challenge. I think from our perspective as a band, it was quite helpful because having been to so many festivals and so many different ones, obviously much more than your average person, you get a good idea of what works, what doesn't work. When you go as an artist versus when you go as a punter, you have different needs, and we can sort of see both of them, and I think that was helpful because and obviously a lot of our friends are musicians, so you just have quite a big experience of people to ask advice from as well. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of things to think about. Some of which were probably unexpected. Um, but I think that's the nature of festivals, isn't it? And events organising in general, that you do your best to plan for everything, but there's always something. Who knows what
Yeah,
it'll
there's
be?
always something that completely is left field, isn't there? Like every time.
Yeah, yeah,
What were? Can I ask you, like, what were the things that you
yeah.
wanted to sort of bring, like with the festival? What were the things that you wanted to do? Obviously, like put on a festival, loads of cool music, loads of cool bands, and all that sort of stuff. But was there a sort of particular like message or like sense of community that you wanted to build with the festival? Like, kind of, what were those things that you really wanted to create and have, and maybe have already been created now? The festival's sort of been going for over half a decade.
I think we really wanted a space for women because you know it's such a shame, isn't it, that like I don't know how many talented female musicians I know, and then how many of them you actually see on stage at a festival. And obviously, there's a drop off of with motherhood and things like that. And we were just really keen to try and make a supportive environment where we can keep these because the women and their talent they don't go away.
Yeah, yeah,
We
definitely.
just don't see them, and it was that was made us pretty angry, and we were like, no, we want to make sure that we're sort of seeing that. We wanted to make sure that it's that for kids to come and enjoy it, because it's an accessible way to get into the genre. It's not, some people might get a bit put off when it's too folk, sort of the folk club experience that I had. But a festival is a bit more accessible, and so yeah, that's definitely our sort of primary thing, is we want to see women on the stage, and we want to see young people being exposed to different kinds of music. Yeah, I feel really proud that we've done that. I think it's important to keep trying.
Yeah,
Needing
definitely. Yeah,
more female bands to put on.
yeah, oh, 100%. I mean, I was thinking, because I was thinking about it when I was doing the research, and it's like, you guys have set this up, and it's at Sutton Park near York, and then
Yeah.
obviously, like the whole podcast is like talking about Saltburn Folk Festival, which is obviously run by Eleanor, and it's just like, it's such a nice, it's kind of that thing of like, you've got two like northern festivals that are both ran by like teams of women, and I don't know, I was like, yeah, that's great, like, yeah, it's just nice to see that sort of diversity, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's so nice. Like, there's such a nice team of people, and volunteers who come, and because when Holly first started doing it, as a festival director when she was like, I hope she won't mind me saying she's 30 now, so she'll have been 25 or
Oh
whatever
wow.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but people, they're always really respectful of her, and that's really nice. So yeah, long may it continue.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got some amazing people on this year as well. Like you've got like Manran and like Catherine Priddy and like like it's gonna be good. I'm definitely gonna have to try and come, considering it is in the north as well. Because I live in Newcastle, and I'm always like, I have to travel so far south to go to all these festivals.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this is what, only 2 hours from you, max.
Yeah, yeah.
It
So
is, and the weather will be good, I promise.
yeah. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, not too hot, because
Yeah,
it's been
gosh,
too hot.
yeah.
I've just got a couple more questions um, for you before we finish.
Yeah.
So you've got a few festivals, obviously the Magpies Festival, and then obviously a few more festivals this like season and things like that. And then what are the Magpies doing next? What's on the cards?
Well, we're planning for a good year next year. We've got new music in the works. We're gonna aim in for a nerve wracking another album, and we'll be announcing everything to do with that really soon. So if people want to follow us on our socials, you'll see all the updates on that. But yeah, the headline is lots of new music coming. We're doing lots of writing, and then yeah, we're going to be on tour again in the UK in 2027, which
Great,
yeah, very
lovely.
much looking forward to.
Yeah, and are you doing any solo stuff at the minute, or just kind of knuckling down with Magpies stuff?
Yeah, mostly Magpies. I've got a mind to record a solo EP, but it's still in the works. But I think I'll be looking to do that over the winter. I'd like to do something probably a bit more banjo, old time focused. Maybe getting some more American traditional songs out there.
Cool.
Last year, yeah, me and Kate had done a couple of. We did a tour last year, which was a sort of double banjo show, which was really funny. So hopefully maybe we can do something like that again.
Oh,
Just
that
mostly tuning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like it's that sort of. I feel like I don't know whether you're the same with banjo stuff, but because I play the accordion and I'm in a band with bagpipes, and obviously people sort of say it's like the trilogy of like the banjo, bagpipes, and accordion. It's sort of like
Yeah.
the sort of danger zone, isn't it? So
Oh, it really is. And I get it. It's fair.
yeah, yeah, same to be honest. So my last question is, because I kind of asked the same question. So, when you girls are away and when you're on tour, what are you listening to in the
Yeah.
car? What are the things that are
Oh
getting
my
what
gosh.
what's being listened to?
So much stuff is getting listened to. We we really like, I think as a team, um we're really big fans of like Man Ran, things like Tide Lines, Elephant Sessions, that sort of Scottish, more sort of poppy folk. But like we're listening to, I don't know, everything from the British folk scene really, and a lot of Canadian stuff. But what we like have a secret passion for Sabrina Carpenter,
Yes, nice.
Ellie, all the way. Love that. Apple Run, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just pop hits, pop bangers.
She's great though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
I feel like there's so many great female pop stars out there at the moment. Actually, it's a great time to be alive.
It is. I mean, I'm like, Olivia Dean on repeat at the minute for me.
Ah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's totally fair.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You'll be able to see the Magpies at Saltburn Folk Festival, and I mean, if you've got no plans the week after, you can go to the Magpies Festival as well. Just sort of tootle down the road that goes straight from Saltburn to York.
Easy.
I'm sure there is one. So,
yeah, one. Oh, thank you.
So that was Bella Gaffney, and yeah, what a woman. Totally incredible and amazing. And that is the end of series 2 of This Is Mint in collaboration with Saltburn Folk Festival this year. I have had the best time getting to do this again, and yeah, hopefully there will be more. Watch this space. If you want to find out more about Saltburn, then you can head over to their website and social media. When this episode goes out, it goes out the Thursday before the festival starts. So tomorrow, not like literally tomorrow, but when you listen to this tomorrow, I will be heading down to the festival. I'm going to go and chat to some people. I'm going to go and see lots of music and yeah, just sort of have a nice time, have a nice weekend. If you've enjoyed these, then you can follow and like and subscribe. If you haven't watched any of the other episodes, go and watch them. A big thank you to Alistair, to Eleanor, Grace and to Bella for being part of the podcast, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.